Hey, Paul.
Hey guys.
Hey, bro.
Hey, happy to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah,
I missed this, man.
Hey, me too, man. It's weird. You get in such a routine every week with the podcast, and I've really missed this.
Yeah, we were clapping it, did well, got to 150, but new studio. What's happened in the time that we've been away? There's a lot that's happened in aviation. But importantly, the Boks are through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean, what a game.
Hey?
What a game. I don't think there was a South African on Sunday night that was watching that game that said that they could go to sleep easily after that, because it was nail biting.
No, it was legit. Oh. And obviously, as you can see, new studio. Ryan, quite a bit of work involved in setting the studio up. So we do have very loyal people that listen to us every week. We got our Patreon people that, give us a bit of support. And we both felt so cuck that we couldn't actually be doing the show. But I think everyone can appreciate the sort of logistics, one thing, but we had to take the equipment out, put it in a new studio, then get it up to a point where it's working. It's not 100% yet. We're still fiddling with a few things on the lighting side in particular. Got, one or two other little things we want to add in, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty cool, but it's been probably more graft than we anticipated.
No, look, I'm pretty stoked with the turnout. I mean, it's a lot more comfortable, a bit more spacious, and it's taken us a while to really just get everything buttoned up, and we try to really do it properly this time. I mean, we've promised ourselves for how long now that when we do get a new space, we're going to really jack it up lacquer, and it's getting there. I mean, it does look cool, feels cool.
It feels for me. Obviously, it's got the sort of Rogan-esque sort of desk sitting across from each other. We wanted that. We wanted the clean black carbon fiber from an aviation point of view, no wood going on here. Yeah. And then the blacked out panels are the sides, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. So, no, look, I'm looking forward to many, many more lacquer episodes in this space. And we'll just keep tweaking it as we go, man.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, a bit of aviation news that's been doing the rounds, and I've been overseas. I was in France a bit to talk to you about that, because we haven't actually spoken about the trip. And I picked up a lot of Jen on the sort of the travel side of things. Like the traveling has changed.
Yeah.
The way I spoke to a lot of people this time, and I like on purpose engaged with a lot of people that were traveling. And the hotel that we were staying at had a lot of tour groups that were there, and it was quite interesting to gauge a bit of a feel as to what the hell's going on. Very cool, actually. But I was picking up some funny aviation stories while I was away.
Yeah,
there were a few that were pretty good.
There's been quite a few that have done the rounds the last couple of weeks. But I'm glad you we sort of left your trip for the podcast, because I hadn't even gotten around to asking you, what was the vibe like in Paris? I can only imagine. Look, I had a lot of people ask me, where's Bryan? I'm like, no, he's in Paris. For the rugby. I'm like, probably, but that's not his cover story.
Yeah, I wish I was there for the rugby. But man, let's go back to the beginning. First of all, one of our stories out today is actually an Air France thing. The headline is Class and Profits. And been traveling now Air France quite regularly. What's it been for the past sort of, even with us going back Sax days?
So at least the last 6, 7, 8 years or something.
Yeah.
Like
And
that.
it's like a second home, that Air France. And you've got a real fuss-free type of vibe. So when I was traveling down, I just thought they don't make a big fuss of you when you get on. You sit down, you put your iPad on, whatever, straight away, you start doing your thing. They very rarely come and, there's none of that old bullshit of, please, no devices before we airborne, all that crap,
Yeah.
It's all pretty seamless. And when I was flying down there, I thought, this is maybe it's like a new way of doing things. Even when they come and give you a meal, you get your champagne, and it's like they leave you alone. And then when I was in Paris, I was chatting to a tour group guide that was staying at the hotel.
Mm.
And he said, who did you fly on? So I said, no, Air France and this and that. And he actually said, like, did you find this like new effect that they're going for? And he actually mentioned the same thing that I was thinking about. So it's like this fuss-free sort of travel vibe that everyone is going for at the moment, not just on the airlines, but it's like a new post sort of the getting back after COVID sort of thing.
Yeah.
People want this like fuss-free travel experience. And this oak that was doing this tour group, that's what he was after. So he, of course, had people there for the rugby and that. But what they were doing, it was they set up the hotels, they set up the transport and all the rest. But for the most part, all they're trying to really achieve is they sort everything out for you. So you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So you tell them beforehand, look, on this day, we want to go into Paris. We want to, so everything's pre-done. Taxis are pre-done. Everything's pre-arranged. And we had a little bit of that vibe this time. The company organized everything nicely in advance, and it was just very well organized. And it's such a pleasure to travel that way because you literally like are posted to every little.
Yeah.
You don't really have to think about anything,
That's cool.
So yeah, and Air France are going for this effect. Leave you alone, take you there in comfort, get your free glass of champagne and enjoy the flight.
You're talking as if you weren't sitting in economy class.
No, I was one up, not the best. I was. We were in premium economy.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not bad. It's nothing to write home about, but it was cool. I mean, I was actually going to pull a bit of a Josh Cahill vibe. I had the GoPro and everything there, and then I thought, nah, maybe I had a bit more respect for him because I was actually sitting there. I had my road marks.
Yeah.
And I know you were quite keen for me to do something there. So I thought, let me, and I like had the camera and the mic, and I thought, like, what are these other oaks going to think of me here?
Yeah. I watch these guys like Cahill and other YouTube bloggers, and often think like it's kind of ballsy. Eh? These guys are walking around in public with a camera and a microphone, talking to things, and you check people like looking at them. You got to feel like a bit of a
what's this like doing?
But I mean, obviously get over it and crack on.
Yeah, the YouTube numbers speak for themselves at the end. But no, so I didn't do that. Leave that for the Joshes of the world.
Yeah.
But no, look, I'm always impressed with them. And other than last time we had that delay, this time everything was pretty seamless. But man, you ask about Paris and the vibe.
Yeah, what is that like?
I had a weekend off there. So it was a Saturday, caught a taxi through. Look, our South African flipping rand does not do us any favors. Man, Ryan, I promise you, but, and I'm sure everyone that's traveled lately has seen this as a proper pinch. But, what's it? For me, there was about 75, 80 euros into Paris in a taxi. It's another sort of 80, 90 euros to get back. A meal, look, okay, there were a few beers and a couple of glasses of wine and maybe a cognac at the end, but it's got a decent expense attached to it. Yeah. But anyway, cruising to Paris. It was obviously the weekend before we beat the All Black, the French, sorry.
Yes.
And just a real vibe, man. And I don't even think it was because of the World Cup. It's just always like that.
Yeah.
But they've put an awesome sort of Rugby World Cup fan center, close to actually where I met you a year or so ago there. Close to La Concorde there.
That's right, yeah, okay.
And a huge thing. Yeah. And it's like this fan zone. You can just go in there and, go and watch the rugby, big screen. Anyone that wants to go can go in there. And even obviously, without the games on, it's like open.
Yeah.
But it's just cool, man. Everyone's walking around in their jerseys. A lot of Irish supporters. I felt for them because there were so many Irish supporters. Ooh. And, the Irish are like every sort of like little cafe around the corner. They're having a few cold ones, like really loud and happy and everything. Yeah. And it was just a nice time to be there. And I've got such an appreciation for Paris. I've just... I just dig it there. I just love that city. I can't wait to take the family there.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome place, and I get what you're saying about the South African Rondella, because I met up with some people over the weekend who had just come back. They traveled to France specifically to go and watch the games. Mm-hmm. They were there for at least 2 games, and these guys were saying, you feel it. They obviously saved it for a while, but yeah, I mean, when you're paying close to $200 a beer.
Yeah.
You're going to feel it there.
Yeah, you do. Eh? And then, it's got that double effect. I mean, everyone's seen this. You're on holiday, you're in this, in South Africa, we're so restricted by where we actually do go. And a lot of the time, we actually base a decision on where you're going to eat, where you're going to drink, on the safety of your car or your family or whatever it is. You just think about it subconsciously. And there, I mean, I went in there on a Saturday. I must have walked close on 20 Ks that day. Got to that same restaurant that we went to last year, that one in Saint Germain.
Oh, yes.
And, you sit there and there's just this rush of people, there's this vibe. So, it's expensive, but you can't help but have another beer.
No, you got to.
And then it's just, then it just sort of just keeps going. But no, very, very cool.
Okay, man.
But Ryan, on the aviation side of things, as I said, lots of news coming in. One story that made me laugh, and I didn't really catch the whole thing, but maybe you can fill me in on it. That BA pilot who had too many nose beers in Johannesburg on a night stop. What was the story there? I was so bummed we weren't doing a podcast that week when I heard about that.
That was going to be the perfect week for you and I to just rip that one a complete new ring. But like you say, British Airways co-pilot who tucked into one too many nose candies on a night stop, and he let it rip. What a ticket! It's always amazing. He's flashed a really fucking good career down the drain.
Yeah.
And most of it up his nose as well.
Yeah.
For what,
You work like hell to get there, and then you throw it away doing something stupid. And then the arrogance and telling a cabin crew member about it. And
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
What a tool. But I mean, it doesn't do much for British Airways, because I think they've had a bad bit of luck with crew, particularly in Joburg, of late. So
they have.
After that story came out, there were a lot of messages on social media that were saying, it's a bit of a thing with the BA crew.
Really?
Finding Joburg as
is it like
Joburg is it's British Airways is
proper. Yeah. Anyway, definitely don't condone that behavior when you're flying aircraft full of paying passengers back to your home country. It's sort of unacceptable in our industry, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, what a cuck reason to have a delay. When you delay, 200-300 people because, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, flights will be delayed because the first officer's trying to recover from a bender.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. These delays and that, and I was talking about this fuss-free travel experience.
Yeah.
The other thing this guy told me was how much shorter the holidays people are traveling for now. So they set everything up. So you basically arrive on the day you arrive, you do something, maybe because an extra day at a hotel.
No, it's expensive.
It's flipping expensive. Yeah. So people are cutting their holidays so fine as it is.
Yeah.
And then you go and miss a day. Yeah. It's the Rugby World Cup. You're not going to get an extra day in a hotel or something. You've lost that day. All because some bloody pilot has gone on a bender. Yeah. Other than that, Ryan, there's been what happening here locally? I heard there was some stuff in the news with mango the other day.
It's the usual crap. They're trying to. There's someone that's still interested in buying it. What they want to buy and what for? And
Pravin, is he's still on the
old Prav? He's still out there whistling whatever crap he's on about.
So this article came out of Flight Global, South Africa's public enterprise ministry, seeking an appeal for a court decision from last month and required to make a decision on the proposed sale of low-cost carrier Mango within 30 days. Administrator Siposono identified a potential investor, blah, blah, blah. Court given the ministry 30-day deadline to approve the sale, including provided reasons for its conclusion. And then obviously Previn stood up and no one's going to force him into anything like this. Previn is waiting for a detailed business plan, comprehensive due diligence, and confirmation of compliance with foreign ownership rules before making a decision. So basically, he's not going to be pushed into anything. He's going to take his time and wait for a decision to be made. Just want to ask a genuine thing, and certainly not questioning the people or whoever they are that want to buy Mango. I don't even know who it is. What are you buying? I don't understand the whole thing around it. It just doesn't seem to make a huge amount of sense.
No.
Like, what are you buying? Why are you buying? The brand is dead. What's the gaff with this?
I can't figure it out myself, because you can't be buying into routes.
No.
I mean, the routes have already been taken up by everyone else that's operating now.
Yeah.
There's no aircraft. There's no property. There's no crew. There's nothing. So I don't know. I think it's all just a smoke screen for some other skullduggery in the background, to be honest.
Yeah, look, it does wind my neck. I do get a bit like,
because isn't it the same thing that's sort of holding up the Saks liquidation thing?
What is the story with the Saks? I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't know.
Like, does anyone know?
No.
But it's not liquidated.
Not liquidated.
So what is it? Just since the beginning of 2020, it's just there.
It's there, yeah. Owes a lot of people money and fuck all that.
And I suppose that's why this thing with Mango just drives me a bit nuts. But anyway, all their pilots are flying at other airlines. They're all doing well.
Yeah.
I doubt any of them would sacrifice their positions at the likes of Fly Dubai and whatnot to come back.
No.
To that, I mean, circus, let's face it.
No. We don't have it on our list of things to talk about, but it came up yesterday afternoon. Comair deals blow to Boeing in US court over the 1.6 billion rand fraud case.
Yeah, what happened there?
So it looks like Boeing obviously trying to sneak out of that MAX deal, where they were trying to hold Comair accountable for the MAXs that they had ordered.
Okay.
And I don't know, looks like Comair, or whatever's left of that, is on the winning end of that.
Oh, really?
Case. Yeah, so
well, that's good news.
Bring back more news on that next week if you can find anything, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, to throw it in there. Another bit of news when I was away, Runway was closed in Cape Town.
Yeah, so there was a TARG 737 that flew in from Luanda that had a full-on hydraulic leak.
Stuck on the runway.
Stuck on the runway, blocked the runway for hours. But you should have seen the delays. KLM from Amsterdam had to divert to Durban.
Yeah.
It's
a bit of a mare,
Yeah.
And then isn't there something going on today as well?
Yes, I can't pick it up. I saw there was
a chat of a runway closure there today as well. Don't know much about it yet. It's too early. I don't think there's any news out on it yet.
Looked like it was an aircraft stuck on the runway, but I don't think that's caused as much chaos
trouble
as it did last week. Yeah,
fair enough. There were a couple of other funny stories that I picked up, Ryan. Made me think of you, this one. We were having a conversation about this earlier. Not a conversation for the air. Flight bound for Florida was diverted after an adult diaper was mistaken for a bomb in a plane bathroom. That was one. Ryan and I were having a chat, and I'm sure a lot of you pilots out there might be have your own story. I think every pilot's got their own story. Those flights when you're at the sharp end of the airy there and the Vindaloo from the evening before is taking the life out of you. Anyway, like I say, it's not one for the podcast, but it made a good convo earlier.
Yeah.
The other one, obviously, we're playing England this week,
Saturday night.
But it's at 9:00 again.
Yeah,
big game,
massive
big game. Got to win it. And a little story popped up here, and I thought, no, man, South Africans are tough. They grow up in a tough environment. They play on hard fields. They not us, but Be tough.
Yeah.
And then this one came out. It says, EasyJet flight grounded after pilot was bitten by mosquito. Travelers are forced to wait for 5 hours for the EasyJet plane to be deep cleaned after the pilot was bitten by this mosquito in the cockpit. 320 was invaded by a swarm of bugs ahead of its flight from Amsterdam to Manchester. Furious passengers have claimed that boarding was delayed for about 5 hours while the crew dealt with these difficulties. Surely we can beat these Oaks on Saturday.
I think we're going to smash them. There's no two ways about it. I mean,
I don't see Irben Etzebeth delaying a practice because he got
bitten by a mosquito. I don't see him delaying practice if he got bitten by a fucking crocodile.
Yeah, you realize we're going to have to go and win this bloody game after saying this.
Look, the way we played on Sunday against the French, it was a tough game to watch, but a lot of the comments afterwards were you could see the French were a tough opponent, but our boys were playing with heart.
Yeah.
And that was a big difference. So.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
It's always good to watch your team when they're playing like that.
Yeah.
Just going back to a bit of aviation stuff here. Russia's aviation crisis keeps getting worse. So they're in a huge predicament there. The aircraft that obviously haven't been maintained the way they should be on schedules and all the rest, they're basically starting to break.
Yeah.
So they've got aircraft sitting all over the place. They've got a major crisis going on there. And one wonders how they're going to do this. But they've invested now heavily in their local products to try and get them to take the brunt of all the flying. So obviously they've faced multiple jet incidents in the last recent weeks, primarily involving Sukhoi Superjet 100 regional aircraft. Aren't they local? Okay.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
I mean, they should be up to spec.
Yeah.
Western sanctions, a result of the invasion, of course, impacted the aviation industry, blah, blah, blah. And Russia now working to adapt to the challenges posted by the sanctions with the goal of reducing reliance on foreign aircraft. But the story starts with the issue that they're having with the Sukhoi Superjet.
Yeah.
What's happening with those local Sukhoi Superjets are supposed to be flying around here?
The ones that are coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No news on that.
I went and had a squiz at that Facebook page. I'm not going to mention their bloody name to give them any clout, but there's an Oak's written an article there about, they designing their wings. Like, fuck, bro, just fucking get a license first and then sort that out.
But it's the same crowd that it's going to be like one owner, but there's I think 7 or 8 different airlines underneath this brand.
Yeah,
that's all coming soon.
Yeah. The
Oh,
worst branding I've ever seen.
what a crock of shit.
Anyway,
Yeah.
carrying on. A terrible story that happened, and I don't. It's a difficult one to talk about on the podcast, but it does warrant condolences and sadness expressed for the family. But there's been a couple of incidents. One of them with a South African guy in Hong Kong that ended up committing suicide, and a portion of the blame, at least, has been his employer, and obviously major airline there in Hong Kong. And Ryan, when I read that the first time, you think how much blame can the airline actually take, or can you actually direct the blame at an airline? And then I was speaking to a mate of mine as well, and he said, yeah, but just think about the pressure a lot of these guys are under around the world, the different the little things that are going on that maybe you don't know about, And then I thought maybe what we could say on the show is, if you are feeling any pressure, it doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't have to be in Hong Kong. It can be in Dubai. It can be anywhere. Like, can't you reach out? Just reach out to your mate or your mates and just talk to someone. And I know there's these organizations that you can talk to. I mean, we had it at one stage during COVID. Remember, we were chatting to Angie McIntosh, Lloyd's wife, and how many people reached out to her after the podcast. And I thought about that, and I thought, there's a lot of people out there that maybe aren't in the best frame of mind.
Yeah.
And maybe now that things have kicked off again and there are all these job opportunities, and you think to yourself, I've actually got no excuse to be in this frame of mind, it's maybe not the case. And there might be more people out there that are battling with something. So if you are, man, I wish we could help, but if we could, give us a shout, but just chat to someone, man. It's terrible.
You know, initially when you like think about it, none of that makes sense. But when you come to realize it, I suppose flying in that environment can get a bit lonely.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, when you are away from home, you're flying long legs, and you don't necessarily maybe have many friends or colleagues in this airline that you're with. So it's difficult for guys to reach out and speak to someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's got to be better channels out there and better ways of dealing with things like that. I suppose we're just very lucky. I mean, we get to talk shit out every week. So
yeah, but you always make the point. What was your famous LinkedIn post a few years ago?
Yeah, don't go it alone.
Don't do it alone.
It's not easy to do anything alone, and no one should have to.
No.
Yeah.
Leads me to a special mention for our mate in Aussie Mike. So he posted something on LinkedIn the other day. Said 1,327 days ago, I flew for the last time. I didn't know it could be my last flight. I have the privilege of flying an act. I didn't know it would be my last flight. Today I have the privilege of flying an actual airplane again. What a ride it's been to get here. A career change, a license reactivation, and then a move to a new country with a new license conversion. It was tough, but it was never impossible. Thank you to each and every person who supported me along the way. I'm forever grateful. This is your achievement as much as it is mine. So that was from Mike. Then a few comments, just two that I chose there. Craig Wood said, your journey has been nothing short of remarkable, taking you from the depths of helplessness, hopelessness, rejection, and sadness to the pinnacle of achievement, exhilaration, and celebration. This is your moment to embrace and own as you truly deserve it. Well done, Captain. And then Jason Northwood said, this picture speaks 1,000 words. Congratulations, Mark. Your perseverance and grit through a season of adversity are commendable and most encouraging to the rest of us. So I'd like to chat about that for a bit, Ryan. Mike has been such a good mate of ours, such a good supporter of the show, someone that we've relied on for sort of even help with giving us a bit of direction on the show. What do you enjoy? What don't you enjoy?
Yeah.
And a classic example there. Mike, one of those ex-Sax boy, lost everything. Bit different to like the likes of you and me. He was Durban-based, less of a group of people there to rely on there, sort of on your own. And, didn't give up, stuck with it. He also didn't go and do something that he didn't really want. He tried many things. I mean, lots of things.
Mike was also... Yeah, gave everything a bash. He wasn't gonna
try,
not try anything. So
that's the point. Do you think that that just trying something, it doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's going to make you any money, just trying, how important is that to finding a bit of success in something else?
Well, that's everything. I mean, in saying that, I was listening to one of Chris Williamson's podcast the other day with the Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
And they were saying something along the lines as well. You got to try and do, what's it, the 10,000 ways of trying something until you finally get it. It's not failure. It's just you can't not try is what I'm trying to get at, I'm not as good at quotes as you are, but
no, but it's like, I think a lot of us go through this like in a chat in your mind, like
all the time. Yeah.
And sometimes, you're thinking I should do this thing, maybe I should try, and you just never do it. And what I really respect with Mike, and I'm so happy that he's there and doing this, is that he's, even by he was driving up and down from Durban at one stage, delivering meat and doing this. Totally different. But that has helped to get to where he is now. It wasn't insignificance. It was a part of a journey that played a role. And I think the reason that it's worth chatting about, and spoke about that story with the suicides, and we're seeing it a lot. You're seeing a lot of unhappy people in the industry, and maybe it's not the airline, maybe you should just look at doing something else. That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something that's making you unhappy, then make a change. And you can stay in aviation and not fly every day as well. So there are ways and means around it. But anyway,
exactly.
So happy for Mike, and I'm just so chuffed that I saw that post and can chat about it on the show.
Yeah, it's really cool to see a positive outcome, and he certainly does look happy in that photo. And
he does.
When you read this, it kind of makes you realize how much someone misses flying when they can say 1,327 days ago.
Yeah, he actually worked it out.
That's incredible. I mean, I can't tell you how many thousand, but to me, it's not as.
Yeah, well, you've been involved in something else.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I can tell you how many podcasts we've done, but
well done, Mike.
Awesome, Mike. Very happy for you, and all the best there flying in Aussie land.
Yeah, Paul. First episode in the new studio. What do you think?
I'm digging it.
I hope everyone else digs it. Look, there's a bit of work for us to do, trying to sort of find our feet with the cameras and that, and work all that out. It feels a bit like it did at the beginning when we're trying to figure out different angles and that. But I think we've settled on something we really like. If you've got any suggestions, let us know. But we do have a bit of space for couple of guests on in the future.
That was the whole idea. Look, I'll be straight up. I'm so glad we got rid of that round table.
Oh man, that
round table used to piss me off.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, but that round table was the bane of our. we couldn't stand it.
So this is much better, and we've got a nice bit of comfortable space to get a guest or two in here, and I hope we get to do that sometime soon.
Yeah, there's only a few episodes left this year. I mean, it's crazy. Going on. It's just flown. I mean, what we got. We're probably going to end early December again.
Yes,
that's the normal thing. Take the December off, but it's just wild. But I'm really happy, and thanks for putting a lot of the graft into the studio while I was away. I think we've got something cool.
Yeah, no, I'm super proud of it, guys. And
it's next level. It's a step up.
Yeah, no.
And maybe sticking with the theme of today, and the guys making these moves, and going forward. How easy is it just to stay with the old and it's fine? We cool here. I'm firmly of the belief, I know you are as well. If you are not moving forward, if you're not getting better, you just give up.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even bother.
No.
Just give up. So this was an important thing. We've been saying it for so long. Got to get the new studio. Got to try something new. And it wasn't the case. It wasn't just like, let's get a new studio for the sake of it. Let's get something that will make it better.
Yeah.
And certainly for us, it's more space. And
look, it goes along with something that we've said, I don't know how many hundreds of times on the show, and I'm even going through it now personally, is if you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and taking bigger, ballsier strides to move forward in life, then what are you doing? You're standing still or going backwards. So, very happy we're doing this, and
hope you like it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, man.
One last thing for the weekend as well. Big UFC fight on the weekend. Islam Makhachev is fighting Volkanovski again. So that's going to be a big fight. That's in Abu Dhabi. I don't know if it's going to be a similar time to the rugby, actually.
It might, eh? Listen, quick question, but why is the rugby at such cuck times?
But
watching it at 9 o'clock at night is shit.
You can't even go to a restaurant before 9 o'clock at night there, man.
No, man.
They're having lunch at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's only us, where the patches are bloody battened down by 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
There, everyone is out. The streets are packed at that time. That's the early evening for those guys, man.
That's crazy, man.
Your mates book a table for dinner there.
Yeah.
It's like 10 o'clock at night. So a 9 o'clock kickoff, that's the time, bro.
No, it's not like for us here in South Africa. I mean, we want to bra and have a couple of.
I know. By that stage, you're now hammered already.
On your way to bed,
you miss off the game. Jeez, I won't lie. This last game, something like led a good idea in my mind was to go downstairs and open a bottle of wine after we won that game, which was like
11 o'clock at night.
I felt like dead the next day. Anyway, cool. That's a good place to leave today's show. I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. It was awesome to be back. Thanks for indulging us in a bit of time off to get the studio ready. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, it was great fun. Guys, take it easy.
Catch you later. Bye for now. Cheers.
4103, contact Chicago departure. Good morning. That was 553, uniform to left heading 250 and all another turn. Left heading 250, Chicago 553, uniform. Tower Runway 3494 for now, stand November short of Echo Echo, and we'll work that out. You can expect the full length for departure. November short of Echo Echo, 3494. Skywest 553, uniform turn left heading 220 and contact Chicago departure. Left heading 220, contact departure, Skywest 553, uniform. United 204, fighting 270, 28 right, Echo Echo cleared for takeoff. 28 right at Echo Echo cleared for takeoff, heading 270, United 204. Sky 5169.